In the world of modern sports, few stories have captured attention quite like the ongoing saga involving Alexander Isak. This tale feels less like a simple transfer rumor and more like an alternate universe that has taken on a life of its own. It's a strange, almost dystopian narrative filled with intrigue, controversy, and a lot of noise. But is it really as monumental as it seems? Or are we simply caught up in the whirlwind of hype? Let's be honest, stepping away from the sports world for even a short break can leave you feeling out of sync when you return. Imagine going on vacation just as football, or soccer, depending on where you're reading this, gears up for its annual marathon of excitement. Coming back to find that everything has spiraled into chaos isn't uncommon. But this time, it feels different. Like re-entering a fantasy realm where rules don't apply. Picture knights abandoning their castles, mythical armies rising from the east, and clubs like Tottenham and Arsenal supposedly teetering on the brink of collapse. All because one player, Isak, remains frustratingly inactive. The sheer magnitude of the Isak affair is staggering. It looms over the sport like a colossus, impossible to ignore. Yet, look closely, and you might notice something peculiar. Despite its size and spectacle, there's an emptiness at its core. Like staring into a kaleidoscope, you keep searching for meaning but come up empty-handed. You find yourself scrolling through endless updates late at night, listening to robotic YouTube voices drone on about the biggest transfer drama ever, only to wonder, what's the actual substance here? By the end of the week, fatigue sets in. The relentless 24-hour news cycle begins to feel like a dog gnawing on a bone that no longer has any marrow left. One major outlet churns out multiple articles daily titled "Isak Does Nothing," while others report breathlessly on his cryptic Instagram posts about promises that aren't nearly as explosive as they sound. Even mainstream platforms like the BBC News at 10 jump on board, turning what should be a non-story into primetime fodder. And then comes the so-called game of hate between Liverpool and Newcastle United. But will anyone truly hate each other during this match? Or will fans simply pretend to care because they think they're supposed to? Who is Alexander Isak anyway? A tall, lanky figure whose defining moment remains scoring a crucial goal in a League Cup final. My colleague Louise Taylor wrote a compelling piece exploring these questions, quoting Rafael Benitez saying everything in football is a lie. Perhaps he didn't go far enough. Maybe the Isak saga itself is a fabrication, albeit one that holds immense power over our collective imagination. Now, before accusations fly about misunderstanding football or dismissing the significance of such sagas, let's pause. There's value in examining why stories like this captivate us. They reflect broader trends within sports media today, a landscape increasingly dominated by algorithms, manufactured emotions, and pseudo-events masquerading as real ones. Remember when Sydney Sweeney allegedly killed wokeness with her cleavage? That never happened. But did it need to? As long as people clicked, reality became irrelevant. This blurring of lines between authenticity and artifice isn't new, but it's intensifying. Take Saudi Arabia's growing influence in global sports, for instance. Their investments fuel not just competitions, but entire ecosystems designed to distract and entertain without grounding in genuine sporting tradition. Meanwhile, Newcastle United, a club steeped in history and emotion, finds itself vulnerable to being co-opted as part of this shift. From Kevin Keegan's legendary title runs to the passionate Geordie fan base, Newcastle has always represented raw authenticity. Yet now, cynicism threatens to overshadow those roots. Some argue this situation mirrors past controversies, citing Wayne Rooney's infamous 2010 transfer request as precedent. Back then, rumors swirled wildly until masked men reportedly appeared outside Rooney's home, threatening violence if he joined Manchester City. Did it matter in the long run? Not really. Rooney apologized, stayed put, and moved on. So why does the Isak saga feel so consequential? Perhaps because money talks louder than loyalty. Let's face facts. Isak wants more cash, plain and simple. Transfers often hinge on such financial windfalls. However, poor handling has exposed cracks in the facade of honor and dedication underpinning professional sports. This disconnect harms everyone involved, not least the industry itself. Moreover, perspective matters. While Isak possesses undeniable talent, his track record suggests caution. At 26, he boasts 2 solid seasons, but minimal impact since March. Should this saga define him? For Newcastle, finding a top striker remains critical regardless of who fills the role. Luckily, their team retains strength beyond individual stars, anchored by spirit rather than glamour. Manager Eddie Howe deserves credit for navigating this storm gracefully, embodying quiet dignity amidst turmoil. Liverpool, too, enters the fray amid whispers that Isak's antics could derail their season. Really? With players like Salah, Gakpo, Ekitike, Wirtz, and Kesa available, they hardly lack firepower. Maybe signing Jamie Vardy would solve their woes. He'd relish proving detractors wrong purely out of spite. Ultimately, beneath the operatic drama lies a familiar pattern. Ownership exerts control, negotiations unfold behind closed doors, and uncertainty reigns supreme. Whether Isak moves or stays, remember, this is still just one man, not an entire squad. His future performance at higher levels remains unknown. Yet the scale of this spectacle speaks volumes about modern sports culture. Domestic leagues grow increasingly porous, chasing eyeballs and streaming deals rather than fostering true competition. Amidst all this, Isak stands poised to become both participant and spectator in a game driven by artificial passions. Welcome, Alexander, to a world where perception often trumps reality. What do you think? Is this evolution inevitable, or should we resist it? Share your thoughts below.